Hi, this is your local internet friend, and I'm tired. I don't know how else I should like start this video off, but just by just saying I'm tired. And it's like a general type of tired. I've done a lot of like trying to process things through trying to process emotions and feelings through brain activity, and now brain is tired, but it's just like a general level of tired. And once again, I can also just end up blaming that on my neurodivergence, because that is something that typically happens mainly with mainly with autistic people, but that just happens. So in today's video, I specifically wanted to talk about sensory issues. Basically, some of the things that I end up having to deal with. Not necessarily just being like neurodivergent, but just being me in general. Number one, how overwhelmed I end up getting by taste alone. There are certain flavors that end up getting overwhelming for my freaking taste buds. Like chocolate. I can't really have that much chocolate. Anything that is essentially rich in flavor, I end up having to have like rice or noodles or toast or naans. Some sort of like bland food that doesn't have the flavoring in it. So I can go ahead and just like chill out. Or so my taste buds can like chill out. Originally this was just things being too sweet, but it evolved. The second one on the list is light sensitivity. Mainly flashing lights. So the funny thing is, I don't usually keep my phone at its brightest. Partially because saving battery, but also because like I don't really need it to be at its brightest unless I'm like outside and it's like really bright outside. But sometimes it's just like it's almost too bright outside where trying to use my phone in general is just like impossible. But yeah, bright lights tend to just like not be my thing. I end up having to do something to like lessen the amount of brightness that I end up having to deal with. Often it is either me squinting or closing my eyes. And when it comes to like flashing lights specifically, I do end up getting disoriented. My sight itself starts like being messed with, and I get disoriented. It's almost like a restart for my brain where it's not able to process anything. So it just everything that needs my personal input and doesn't just automatically happen for me just stops. The third one is just going to end up being like a clump of three, because they're not necessarily like the five senses that people typically talk about, but these are essentially senses. Like depth perception. I am really bad at like, I don't have much of a sense of direction, and my depth perception itself is concerningly low. I also don't have like a physical self-awareness. This is basically, it's spatial awareness, that's what it is. It's not that I don't have it, it's just, it's one of those things that actually needs my personal input, like my active input on me trying to figure out, as well as my sense of time. It's not necessarily time blindness, but I just don't understand how the passage of time. So it's either I look at the time and see how long something takes me to do, or I time myself and continue to check the timer, what feels like every 5 to 10 minutes. Number 4, there are certain sounds I can just feel in my teeth, and that's very uncomfortable. like the scrape of metal on porcelain. No thank you. The next one is also sound based, but it's just like the phenomenon of like listening to a song and feeling something like goosebumps or goose pimples or like the chills whenever you go ahead and listen to the song. It's called frisson, and it doesn't happen with everyone, apparently. And that's a completely different thing to being able to tell a song's general vibe based off of its sound. The next one is actually something that I didn't realize that actually affected me as much, especially when I would hear other people talking about it, until I had certain situations in which it was absolutely a thing and I did not like it at all. And that is being hypersensitive to whatever is on me and whatever is around me. There are times, once I end up becoming aware of my surroundings, I end up becoming too aware of my surroundings, where I'm taking in every bit of information and can honestly end up getting distracted. This is probably another reason as to why I am very afraid of driving. But as for the on me thing, things like certain textures of like things to play around with your hands, like I apparently do not like putting my hair, I do apparently do not like handling raw meat. It's just a no-go for me. And then there are also like certain textures of fabric that you do not just that just don't vibe. I don't vibe with. And it's just like I don't want it. It's too uncomfortable. And then sometimes there's just like certain shirts or pairs of pants where it's just like you put it on and the fabric itself is comfortable, but the fitting itself isn't. And then there are times in which the fabric is comfortable, the fitting is comfortable, you are generally comfortable, there's no tag that is freaking irritating the back of your neck, the bottom of your neck. And then just out of seemingly nowhere, you just want to go ahead and crawl out of your skin because of everything touching it. This often happens when I'm wearing a relatively short skirt. Relatively short as in it at least falls to like my knees or something, maybe slightly above. But it's just like I become too aware of my own surroundings and my situation and I just want out. Or I've been having to go ahead and like ignore my own thoughts for too gosh darn long and I'm tired, and although the outfit that I put together is pretty and relatively comfortable, it is no longer comfortable because I am tired and just I'm irritated by just everything. I could also just be irritated because I'm hungry and don't necessarily know that I'm hungry because my stomach won't necessarily give me the cues of, hey, you're hungry. Yeah, there are just days in which I don't know exactly why I'm irritated. And this last one is actually something that I learned about recently, and is I now have hair that actually goes down my back. And while that is something that I want to celebrate, and I tried to celebrate by basically straightening my hair, and I wanted to wear it out, there are just most of the time I end up keeping my hair up because I don't like hair going down my back and having to constantly think about the hair that is currently going down my back. My hair is currently in a clip, by the way. Again, why? Because I don't like the prospects of my hair going down my back, apparently. And when I found out that could just be like an entire neurodivergent thing, mainly an autistic thing, but neurodivergent in general, I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. Because, like, I can't really describe the type of feeling that I have to deal with it. I just don't want it. But I also don't feel like having to put myself through that situation just to figure out how to explain it. That was everything that was on the list, and I guess that's the end of the video. So without further ado, this will end up being a stereotypical YouTuber outro where I, as a stereotypical YouTuber, one, have moved myself within frame, but two, will be asking you to do the following. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified of whenever I post. And put down any type of questions, comments, concerns, or ideas for future videos in the comment section down below. You can obviously tell that I stopped, like, in a general sense, caring about the video. With all that being said, I have been your local internet friend, and this is Toki saying Toki out.